Now, he's a very complex, involved person. I never get tired of him. He's got his own sense of humor. He's got his own way of thinking. He's not involved in the music business at all, but he loves music. And we're different, but yet we just are so compatible.
The house was quiet when Dolly received the news. Her husband, the man who had lived in the shadows for decades, had left behind something no one imagined: hidden accounts, secret savings, and handwritten instructions, each revealing how deeply Carl Dean had planned for her future. As the lawyer read his will aloud, Dolly's voice broke, and her family wept. He was gone, but his love spoke through every line. What Carl left behind wasn't just money. It was a fortune built from years of loyalty and silence. And when the truth came out, it made them all cry. Heartfelt will of her late husband. Country music icon Dolly Parton's husband, Carl Dean, passed away in March, prompting a wave of sympathy from people around the world. However, his passing also unveiled a touching tale of enduring love, fidelity, and dedication that lasted for years. Recently uncovered details about Carl Dean's last wishes shed light on the profound depth of his affection. His meticulously written will, executed long before his death, demonstrated the unwavering adoration he held for his beloved wife. Carl Dean passed away at the age of 82, leaving behind not just his possessions, but also many memories. He was married to Dolly for 58 years, staying by her side despite rarely being seen in public. Their marriage was very private, developing quietly as Dolly became famous worldwide. Even in death, Carl's final act showed his lasting dedication to their relationship. According to official papers filed in October, Carl designated Dolly as the only person to inherit his belongings. This included everything from small personal items to large properties. His will, created in 2013, put all his money and possessions into the Carl Thomas Dean Trust, showing his trust in his life partner. Dolly meant everything to him, not just as his spouse, but as the most important person in his life. He trusted her enough to give her full ownership of his estate, which included all memorabilia and items related to her music and entertainment career. This encompassed photos from her years of performances, glamorous stage outfits, precious jewelry, musical instruments, and recording equipment. In addition to these career-related possessions, she would also inherit their furnishings, artworks, vehicles, and other personal treasures accumulated during their lengthy marriage. Carl's will was more than just about his physical belongings. In addition to detailing who would receive what, he also included a handwritten note with his will. This note explained in detail how he wanted their household items and sentimental belongings to be divided or kept. By doing this, he wanted to make sure that every little thing was taken care of with love and a personal touch. Life doesn't always go according to plans. According to the court documents, if the handwritten note couldn't be located, all the responsibility would fall on Dolly. As the executor of the estate, she would be in charge of deciding how to divide their personal belongings. This was a difficult task filled with emotion, showing not only his faith in her decision-making, but also his understanding of her feelings. Dolly has not talked openly about the contents of the will, but those close to her know that she feels both sadness and thankfulness. Her husband stayed out of the public eye, but he was a big part of her life. They did not have kids, but they had a strong and caring connection. Carl loved Dolly for who she was, even before she was famous and rich, and before she wore fancy clothes and was in the spotlight. When Dolly first talked after her husband passed away, she spoke with love. She mentioned the wonderful years they had together and how they supported each other. To her, Carl was more than a husband. He was her support, her companion, and the one who kept her grounded during their many years in the spotlight. After he passed away, Dolly started talking more about their relationship. She mentioned how he had always supported her, even though he preferred to stay out of the limelight. Carl did not need attention for himself. He was happy just to see Dolly succeed. Despite her fame, he made sure she felt loved for who she was, not just for her stardom. Their romantic relationship started in the 1960s, before Dolly became famous. They first met in Nashville when she was beginning her career. He was attracted to her personality, sense of humor, and compassion. While she became a worldwide star, he preferred a private life, out of the spotlight. He managed his business discreetly, stayed away from public events, and hardly spoke to the media. However, people who were close to them claimed that his love for her was strong and never diminished, even as her fame grew. With his death, his last act of love was ensuring the protection and care for Dolly by making her the sole beneficiary. Carl wanted to make sure that everything he had worked for and cherished would stay with her. It was not about money, but about leaving a legacy. Each item held sentimental value and memories of their life together. Dolly must be feeling a mix of sadness and solace as she goes through her late husband's belongings. Each item holds memories of the man she considered her one true love. The outfits he admired her in, the jewelry she wore for performances, and the furniture in their peaceful home all serve as reminders of their life together filled with love and simplicity. Despite Carl's preference for staying out of the spotlight, he had a significant impact on Dolly's life. She frequently said he was calm in the midst of her chaos, providing a stable force to balance her high energy. As she moves forward without him, his memory remains present in the music she creates, the home they shared, and the small mementos he left behind. Carl's will may have been basic, but it painted a lovely picture of his love and commitment to his wife. It illustrated a man who, even after many years of marriage, considered his wife to be the most important person in his life. Instead of focusing on power or rules, his last wishes were all about love. It was a gentle assurance that he would always look after her, even in death. Dolly Parton sees her inheritance as more than just a property. It represents the end of a love story that started years ago in a small town in Tennessee. It serves as a tribute to the man who supported her through all the ups and downs. Remembering him helps her to continue drawing from the strength and comfort he provided during their time together. Dolly may be famous worldwide, but her true love and protector was always Carl Dean, who loved her even before she became a star and ensured that she would always be taken care of, even after he passed away. Dolly continues to live in her peaceful home with reminders of her loved one all around her, a love that never faded. The man who stood behind one of the world's brightest stars has passed away. Carl Dean, the private husband of country legend Dolly Parton, passed away at the age of 82. Dolly announced his death on a Monday morning in early March, leaving fans saddened by the loss of the couple's love story that was so admired. For almost 60 years, Carl Dean lived a quiet life while his wife Dolly Parton was famous. He did not seek attention, but always supported her. While Dolly performed on stage, Carl preferred the peace and quiet of Nashville away from the spotlight. He enjoyed spending quiet time at home and was happy to let Dolly be the center of attention. Their story did not start in fancy music studios or celebrity events, but in the most ordinary place, a laundromat. In 1964, Dolly, who was only 18, had just moved to Nashville to pursue her dream of becoming a singer. On her first day in the city, she was doing laundry at the wishy-washy laundromat. At the same time, a 21-year-old man named Carl Dean happened to walk by. Their eyes connected, and a gentle feeling started, not like in the movies with love at first sight, but something genuine and long-lasting. Dolly remembered waving at him when he called out to her, just being her usual friendly self. However, that brief meeting had a profound impact on her life. Carl was attracted to her warmth, energy, and kindness. Their simple meeting between washing machines and sunshine marked the beginning of a long and private love story in country music. 2 years later, on May 30, 1966, the young couple decided to tie the knot. Instead of a big and fancy wedding, they went to Ringgold, Georgia, for a simple ceremony. Only a few people were there: Dolly's mother, a preacher, and the preacher's wife. There were no cameras, press, or a big crowd. It was just two people pledging to be together for life. Carl and Dolly had a long-lasting marriage that is famous in the entertainment world. Dolly became well-known worldwide, but Carl was always there for her as a supportive husband who loved her for herself, not her fame. Despite Dolly's success and fame, Carl chose to stay out of the spotlight and focused on his asphalt-laying business in Nashville. He preferred a quiet life with his machines over being in the midst of crowds and chaos. Dolly frequently mentioned that privacy was key to their strong marriage. He did not feel the need to rival her fame or be in the spotlight with her. Instead, he created a peaceful and loving home for her to come back to after her hectic tours. Their relationship may have had differences, but their love was harmonious, stable, and genuine. When Carl turned 82, his health had begun to decline, but his love for Dolly never faded. When he passed away in early March, it left Dolly heartbroken but grateful for their life together. Dolly announced his passing on social media with a brief message. She stated that Carl would have a private funeral with only immediate family in attendance. This was exactly how he would have preferred it: quiet, dignified, and away from the public eye. She said that he had passed away and is survived by his siblings, Sandra and Donnie. She talked about how their love lasted over 60 years and was impossible to put into words. The message was short, but conveyed the depth of a lifetime. Two people who had created a life together, hidden from the public, yet stronger than anyone could have realized. In the days after, Dolly wrote a thank you message to her fans, friends, loved ones who showed kindness and sympathy. She appreciated all the letters, flowers, and messages she received. Although she couldn't reply to each one individually, she was grateful for the comfort they provided. She found peace in knowing that Carl was now in God's hands, and her words reflected both sadness and acceptance. Their connection lasted for 58 years, which is uncommon in a world that is fast-paced. Even though Carl is not present, it is evident that Dolly will always feel his love in her heart. Their love was not meant for display, but rather for lasting a lifetime. Back in 2016, when they celebrated their 50th wedding anniversary, Carl talked a little about how they first met. He mentioned that when he first laid eyes on her, he knew she was the one for him. He believed that was the moment his life truly began. Even though those words were said years ago, they hold even more meaning now. They show just how much he loved her with honesty, patience, and a constant, unwavering affection that never waned. Over the years, as Dolly traveled the globe and performed her music for countless fans, Carl stayed in their Nashville house. He was the one who encouraged her to take breaks, relax, and just be herself. Carl wasn't interested in fame or money. He was happy with the life they created together. He believed that love did not need extravagant displays. It was found in tranquil mornings, shared laughter, and ordinary moments that held great significance. Now that he has passed away, Dolly is dealing with a world that will never be the same. Despite feeling sad, she remembers him with poise. Her songs, confidence, and smile now seem to have a richer meaning, as if each song she sings contains a bit of him. Carl Dean may not have been famous or wealthy, but his love story was beautifully written in the everyday moments of love. His legacy is not about being in the spotlight or having a lot of money, but about the deep love he shared with a woman who was cherished by the world. Their love was so strong that not even death can diminish it. Dolly will continue to shine on stage, The music will keep playing. The simple life of a star and her husband. Dolly Parton has always been a shining star on stage, with her songs, laughter, and sparkle making her very popular. However, behind that fame was her husband, Carl Dean, a man who preferred to stay out of the spotlight. His love for Dolly was quietly supportive and grounding in the chaotic world of celebrity. Carl was an introverted man who liked to be alone. He did not like fame or the loudness of the entertainment industry. Unlike Dolly, who loved being in the spotlight, Carl enjoyed being in the quiet parts of their house. He was calm and consistent, not seeking attention or praise. He found Dolly's world to be too loud, too hectic, and too full of people. He often stayed away from all of it, content just to be with her, far from the constant lights and microphones. Carl did not want fame. He wanted peace. He found happiness in nature and at home, not in the spotlight. He did not need recognition to feel significant. His joy came from Dolly's happiness. Carl believed in the quiet life, while Dolly thrived in the noise. And that was all he wanted. Dolly once mentioned that Carl was confident in himself. He wasn't bothered by her popularity or the admiration she got. He was fine with the fact that the public adored her because he had his way of loving her. His love was understated but profound, the type that did not require words to be understood. He had a deep understanding of her like no one else. When others admired her, he would just smile, knowing that she would always return to him in the end. His frequent joke was that he couldn't blame anyone for being charmed by her. This reflected his character as a down-to-earth, kind, and non-jealous man. He had a strong sense of self, which helped their marriage endure the challenges brought on by fame. Carl avoided being in the public eye, even for a short period of time. He did not attend premieres, refused interviews, and seldom accompanied Dolly to public functions. This wasn't his nature. He cherished his privacy, tranquility, and modest way of life. He believed that entering her world would disrupt the peace he cherished. His prediction was accurate. Fame did not permit anyone a moment of rest, but he protected his private life diligently. Dolly completely understood this aspect of him. She respected his desire for alone time and never pressured him to be part of her life. She valued his peace just as he valued her heart. She once mentioned that Carl had told her, "You chose that lifestyle, but I chose you." So they created a life that respected both decisions, independent but still closely linked. They figured out how to maintain their love despite living in separate worlds. Dolly enjoyed traveling to different countries, but Carl preferred to stay home. While she received cheers from crowds on stage, he would relax on the porch, deep in thought about her. Their relationship thrived on trust, understanding, and giving each other space to be independent. This was what made their love special and unique. Despite being famous and having the means to travel anywhere, they enjoyed the simple things in life. They did not feel the need to have extravagant vacations or visit expensive destinations. Dolly revealed that their favorite activity was driving off in their small RV to escape the hustle and bustle and simply be themselves. During these trips, there were no paparazzi, no bright lights, just the couple enjoying each other's company on the open road. They enjoyed relaxing evenings as a couple. Dolly would either read or cook while wearing comfortable clothes she referred to as her baby clothes. They would engage in conversation, share laughter, and observe the world moving slowly around them. These were the times they found the most joy, not the accolades or recognition, but the peace they found in each other's company. Carl enjoyed short adventures but preferred to be at home. He liked being in familiar surroundings. Dolly, on the other hand, craved new places and experiences. Despite their differences, they balanced each other well. She was like the wind, and he was like the ground that grounded her. He thought highly of her lively personality, while she thought highly of his relaxed demeanor. They did not have to be similar to be in a relationship. They just wanted to love each other enough to allow each other to have their freedom. Dolly frequently mentioned that Carl did not require her constant attention. He was self-sufficient, resilient, and sure of himself. And she cherished him even more for those qualities. Their marriage was not founded on big actions or showing off in public. Instead, it was created through small, intimate moments like laughing together, peaceful mornings, and silent understanding. They balanced each other out, with her world being full of noise and his filled with tranquility. Dolly's popular song was inspired by a joke she shared with Carl about him frequenting the bank. The playful banter between them turned into a hit song that reflected the love and humor in their relationship. It was a small moment that added beauty to their life. Their connection stayed strong over the years despite changes in music, fame, and people. Carl loved Dolly deeply, and she cherished him for keeping her grounded. Dolly made sure to keep Carl out of the spotlight because she valued his peace over publicity. She found tranquility in the man who never sought attention, in a world where everyone was looking at her. Their relationship was not flashy or dramatic, but instead calm, uncomplicated, and genuine. What an incredible legacy! Carl Dean lived quietly, but his final gift, a fortune and a deep love, left his family overwhelmed with emotion. If this story touched your heart, please like and subscribe for more moving stories that make a difference.